Welcome to Muskegon Rising, a community service project of the Muskegon Rotary Club. Our purpose is to create lasting positive change. We've been doing that here since 1916. So, let's get started.
Well, hello. I'm Nancy Crandall, Rotarian and host for today's podcast. And with me is Gabrielle Gerlach, also a Rotarian.
Yes,
and CEO of the Muskegon YMCA. So, Gabe, there is a Y in Muskegon.
There is. There really is. It is kind of one of those interesting things, right? That a lot of people think because of a sale of a building about 10 years ago that we're not here, but we're actually here and we're thriving in Muskegon, doing lots of really great things.
Wonderful. We have to keep reminding people that a Y is not a building.
Yes.
It's what you do.
Absolutely.
So we want to hear what you do.
Okay.
Tell us about the programs of the Y.
Well, our mission is, to provide programs that build healthy spirit, mind, and body for all built on Judeo-Christian principles. And so that's really our focus. We're really looking at how we can build the health and wellness of a community. And we have three kind of focus areas within that. Healthy living, social responsibility, and then youth development. So we do different programs that target different pieces of that. We kind of think of ourselves as having two main branches or hubs. We have our Community YMCA, which is all community-based programming. So we consider ourselves a community Y, a Y without walls.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a lot of our health and wellness focus is. And then we do some youth development there, some social responsibility. And then we have YMCA Camp Pendaluan, which is located in Montague, still in Muskegon County on beautiful Big Blue Lake. You always have to say it with the beautiful.
Oh, yes, of course.
It's like, I learned that when I first started. That's the way you present it. It's on beautiful Big Blue Lake. And we really focus on the youth development there, although we do some health and wellness and other programming as well. But those are kind of our two big branches.
Sure. And as you know, Camp Pendaluan is near and dear to my heart with all of our family history from up here. But specifically, let's start with the location.
Sure.
Where are you?
We are located at 115 3rd Street. So we're right in Midtown. It's a great place to be. It's happening. There's a lot of, new development going on there. We're near the Gold Coast Records, Hamburger Mikey's. So, you've...
Curry Kitchen.
Yeah. We've got lots of great neighbors and space to be. And that's kind of our hub. So it's where our office space is. A lot of our leadership team is based there. And then we do a lot of our prep work for like our kitchen or our programming. And then from there, we spread out across the community. So we have, I believe it's over 95 sites that we operate at throughout the county.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a lot, right? We're at a lot of different places. And those range from local schools. We partner with the MAISD and lots of different school districts. We still do a lot of aquatics programming. So we partner with Muskegon Heights Academy and their pool, and then the Muskegon Public School, and use their pool to still provide those safety around water programs. We work with the Parks Department a lot to provide, because they have, Kyle, their director, will say, he goes, I have space. And I said, I have programs. So it's a good
perfect.
fit.
Yes.
And we do day camps with them and then host some health and wellness programs at those locations too. We're located at other local churches like Kojic and things like that. Muskegon Family Care is a big partner of ours, and then the Whitehall Viking Center as well. They do a lot of our Live Strong cancer survivor programming.
Sure.
So it's really about meeting people where they're at is essentially our new concept. So we have that base, of a central location, but we spread out to where people are at and meet them, hopefully, where they're at and achieve meeting their needs too.
So what is your funding for all of these varied programs?
Well, there's a multitude. So we do get a lot of grant funding, especially for specific programs. You may not know this, but Muskegon YMCA is actually a national leader in terms of being a Y without walls and a community Y. We do nationwide programming for diabetes prevention. We're actually the lead provider for the state of Michigan, just here in Muskegon, which is
that's
neat.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So that's a big piece of what we do. So we do get a lot of, we work with funders on that piece. So it's all of our programs are research-based as well. And so we do a lot of work with the CDC. and provide that type of programming in the community. In addition to that, we do have programs that run with, registrations and funding, from that space. Like at Camp Pendaluan, everyone can come. Anyone can come. We make sure that we raise, donations and do different funding sources for that. But we do have people who pay to come as well. And some people really generously, like they'll pay for their camper and then add an extra $50 so somebody else can come at a reduced cost. So
that's great.
We do a lot of subsidized programmings that way as well.
Back to the grants.
Oh, sure.
From whom are you getting these grants? I mean, just give an idea of.
Our biggest ones are from the CDC. So we partner with, for example, Trinity Health.
Okay.
And so we are one of the providers for different programs for them. So obviously, as a healthcare system, they do a lot of work in just the immediate healthcare needs. And then there are preventative programs or other things like that help make sure that people are in their best health or can prevent them from having surgery or heart attacks.
Right.
So, those things that
Preventive
you don't.
health
Yeah,
things,
exactly. And so we work with them to get CDC funding, because that's one of the advantages. When you get those larger grants from the state of Michigan or from the CDC on a federal level, they want to see that you have partnerships.
Sure.
So it's, local organizations partnering together to provide for the whole community. So everybody has their niche, right? We're very good at providing that specific program. We have trainers. We know how to do it. We're, experts in that field. We aren't doctors. We're not nurses. We can't say these are the right people to take these or to be a part of these classes. But we can help the people that are identified that way.
So the hospital, or depending on the program, that organization provides names of people who can use the program, and you provide the program.
Yes. So we partner to write some of these grants on that larger level. And then we do other, local level grants as well. So we get some from the state. The Community Foundation is very, generous from that perspective as well. The Health Project, and other entities like that.
So what is your staff for doing all this?
We have 9 full-time staff. So
And? With all these programs going on,
Yep. We have 9 full-time staff, and we have, depending on the time of year, up to 100 part-time staff or seasonal staff. So it's really, summers are big for us because Pendaluan is such it's such at the heart of what we do. It's a big program for us. And so right now, I have 50 staff on site at Camp Pendaluan as we speak. We are in session 4 with our campers, and they are having a great time. That includes what we call like leadership staff, seasonal leadership staff. So they might be in charge of whole areas, so aquatics or health or the barn. Everyone likes a horse, right? There's all kinds of positions like that. Our kitchen, we've got a lot of kitchen workers that we employ in the summer to provide those healthy meals that are, good and wholesome for the kids to eat. Lots of fruits and vegetables. They're really hungry after being outside all day.
Teenagers.
Yeah, right? Campers are always happy if they're well fed.
Right.
In addition to that, we've got a lot of lifestyle coaches that will do things like our diabetes prevention, our Live Strong programs. And so they're the ones providing that piece. And we actually have staff in Indonesia and that do some of those virtual pieces. One of the, silver linings of the pandemic for us is that some of those programs moved, so we were able to provide them online if there was a need for that, because there are barriers for some, in terms of transportation and that. And so our coaches can be from anywhere providing that.
That's terrific.
For those that have that need.
With having to employ so many, particularly part-time people and specialized people, do you have a problem getting employees?
Always. I mean, well, I shouldn't say it's a problem. You're always hiring.
It's always a challenge.
Yeah, because you can't grow or, provide we don't want to have a wait list, right? So we're always trying to hire more to make sure that we can fill the needs for that. So it's kind of a constant hiring. So I don't know if it's a problem as much as it's just a constant part of our life. My staff might say it's draining, but it's just a piece of what we do.
You are doing the swim program, and that's been so popular in this community for years. Tell us about that.
So it's affectionately called Pool School.
Pool school.
We also call it, during our when we're talking about writing grants, we call it safety around water.
Right.
But essentially, it's the idea is to target every third grader in our county and to provide water safety for them. It's a little different than swim lessons because it's not solely focused on swimming specifically, but it's about how to be safe in water. So some of that is swimming and some of it is knowing, what a rip current is and what that looks like and what it feels like and how to help, reach, throw, don't go is what we often say in that piece. If you see somebody in trouble, you reach out for help, you grab, a life buoy or that, and you throw that out rather than going out yourself. So we are never more than 6 miles away from open water in the state of Michigan. And here in Muskegon, it's beautiful, our lakefront. And so being able to appreciate it and feel like we can be safe there, especially our kids, is just really important.
And how many schools participate in with their third graders?
Right now, we have every district but 5. So not every district, every school but 5 in the local county.
Wow.
So
That's
we are
great.
working on it. We actually just received a new grant. We're partnering with the CDC on safety around water specifically. And they're looking to look at, it was kind of funny. It's one of those kismet things, I think, because they wanted to look at people who aren't in the school. So the school system itself isn't doing it, but partner organizations are. And how can they eliminate barriers for schools to participate? And so they're looking at what are the main barriers. And we have a pretty good idea of what a lot of those are. Transportation is really big. Time in the school day and staff from a funding perspective for schools can be tricky. And so the idea is to identify those and look for permanent, sustainable solutions so that way every kid can be provided with some kind of safety around water training.
That is just terrific. It's no wonder that program has caught the imagination of our whole community.
It's true.
When we look at all the water around.
Right? It's a perfect place to be promoting that.
Also for kids, you're running a summer day camp this year.
We are at McGrath Park. It's a new day camp for us. So camp in general is definitely something we do well.
Yes.
We have a lot of exemplary programming. And so we're trying to take that core and put it back physically into that Muskegon community. Although we do have a bus that transports kids up to Pendaluan for our day camp there, that's located there, it still can be limiting for people. And so right now we're located at McGrath Park, which is right in the heart of McGrath neighborhood. And we're partnering with the Parks Department to do that. And we've partnered with the school systems to help us provide food for those kids in the summer. And so it's 9 to 5, Monday through Fridays, all through summer.
And you've had a good response to that?
We have had a good response to it. I think there's a lot of opportunity for us to continue to grow in that space. But the feedback we've been hearing is it's so nice to have it right here, right where their homes are. And it's fun because, I think some of the neighbors were like, okay, what's this going to be like? Like all these kids in this park. But they're professional staff, so it's so well organized, and they're having fun the whole time, and they're outside, which is exactly what they need in the summer. Parents can feel like their child is getting a really enriching experience in those summer months. We're helping provide, different academic support in those summer months. So we do, reading, math, science, writing, all those pieces integrated within this program as well. And that's a really neat thing as well for parents. So, it's not just sitting in front of a screen or doing that piece. We're really able to let the kids have fun. And then there's those soft skill pieces that are so important for kids too, like learning how to make a friend.
Sure, just socialization.
Yeah, it's hard for kids. And so it's a really great thing for them to practice and feel good about themselves with too, be around people their age.
It's great. What about the health programs? What kinds of, you do the diabetic program, but what else?
So we've got our diabetes prevention program, which you'd mentioned, and that's really, it is about prevention. So if you already have diabetes, there's other, programs that fit that piece. This is very much about if you are identified as being pre-diabetic, there are, how can you make permanent life changes in order to be able to keep from some of the really serious health effects that can happen if you get diabetes. So there's that one. We work a lot with that. We have Live Strong for cancer survivors. And so that's if you have any kind of cancer, it's a group. A lot of times after you finished your radiation or your chemotherapy, whatever your treatment plan may be, you have this sense of community while you're going through that. And then after it's done, it's almost what I've heard people say is that it feels like you're displaced after. Like you don't necessarily know what to do. You don't have that sense of community anymore because you've lost all the friends that you were at chemo with. And, like you had this system and this regular schedule of what you would do. And it was people who understood what you were going through and could support you. And your body's often changed a lot and is not in peak physical condition after going through those treatments. And so Live Strong is all about exploring gentle exercises that can, help promote your physical health as you recover from such a serious disease, but also providing, and I think more importantly, providing a sense of community after those treatments. So we have, it's like a 6-week Live Strong program, and then we have alumni groups that meet after that. And so even if you are done with your initial Live Strong program, you can continue to be a part of that alumni group and continue to meet regularly, whether it's once a week, twice a week, but you have that community that you've built, people who understand what you may have gone through, who you can talk to about it. So that one's a special one too.
Yes, I think so. What about Camp Pendleton? Tell us about camp and what's happening up there.
Of course. Well, we just celebrated our 100th year anniversary last year, which is just wonderful.
Isn't that great?
Being around since 1923 is pretty exciting for a camp, and we're really thriving. We've done a lot in the last, probably 10 to 15 or so years. You were actually a big piece of this too, Nancy, so you know well, of really in reinvesting in that property. Because I think it's, our executive director calls it our jewel. Like the property is a jewel itself, right? It is. And so we're just trying, we're not necessarily making everything new or expanding or making bigger. We want to take what we have and really invest in it. So it's there to last for another 100 years. So that's been things like metal roofs on cabins and, new insulation, new floors. We've expanded our deck so all the kids can eat outside. We have built one new thing, but that's because our old staff housing was rough. It was no longer a livable, usable building. And so we did just build this beautiful new leadership center that in the summer and spring, our seasonal staff get to live there and they love it.
I just asked my granddaughter if she had seen that yet. I remember bringing her back from Virginia, taking her to the old staff housing and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to leave her here to live in that thing.
Yep.
So she was happy to hear that there were new staff quarters.
Yes, it was an experience. I think when we did, a lot of our staff would come before, we're like, all right, we're looking at making a new space. What do you want to see in this? And the bathrooms, individual bathroom, like that was a big thing. And individual rooms, having their own bedroom was really important to that leadership staff. But the other thing we did while we were doing that is we created some space underneath. So it's a 2-story building. We've got bedrooms and a kitchen and this kind of living space up top. And we've got some really nice training rooms down in the basement. And so we can do staff trainings there or rent it out to groups. In the fall, we rent it out to weddings. So that's kind of a nice new way to make sure that the building is paying for itself and funding its own depreciation, which is...
So I was going to ask you about other events that happen at camp. What kinds of programming are you doing up there?
Sure. So we have summer programming is obviously our focus. So we have overnight camp, day camp. We do different family camps. We just had a mom and kids camp, not this past weekend, but 2 weekends ago. And we have father and son camp coming up this weekend. That's one of our oldest family. I believe it is our oldest family camp, actually. So it's been happening for quite a number of years.
Now it's dad and son and grandson.
Yes, it is.
For a lot of families.
And then in our off months, we do a lot in the spring, a lot of outdoor education. We do a little bit of that in the fall as well. But that's school groups coming out and doing team building or sometimes different learning, especially STEM or STEAM learning, just because of the nature of where we're at. But it's that kind of bonding experience that a lot of people want to have at end of the year trip where you're bonding with your class. You're having some of those memories. And then in the fall, we do retreats. So weddings are a very popular one right now, which has been fun to watch grow and develop. And then local businesses as well will come out and rent the space, do their own training. So if they need us to, they want to use our climbing wall and rock tower and that piece, we can help with that piece. And sometimes they just have a big retreat there, their company retreat. So it's a beautiful space to eat and be and brainstorm what's next for their strategic plan.
Yeah, off by themselves.
Exactly.
Where are your campers coming from, and where are your staff coming from?
That's a great question. So our campers, about 50% of them come from Muskegon. Probably about 75% come from kind of our Muskegon, Newaygo, Oceana, Kent, and Ottawa counties. That West Michigan really is our focus. We do have, we've expanded, so some across Michigan and then outside of Michigan as well, too. We've got a nice relationship with a Partner Y in Illinois who will send campers as well because they don't have an overnight camp at their Y. And so
perfect.
They send them to ours, which is really nice. And we do get, sometimes we'll get like, what? Why? Where did these campers come? They're coming from Texas, but it's because their mom or dad
Utah.
or grandparent. Yeah, exactly. Because they know somebody. So it's been expanding a little bit in that way, which has been fun too. I think people, they understand the value of that type of experience. And so they want to provide it for their kids when they have an opportunity. As far as our staff, we do have international staff this year. So 8, I believe, is what we ended up with this year. Yeah, we have 8 international staff. So we have staff from the UK, New Zealand, Jordan. Where else? We've had staff from Mexico and Spain. So it gives a really nice global feel too.
Yes, I would think so. And good exposure for the kids to meet somebody from somewhere else.
You meet people similar to you, but you also meet people very different than you that can expose you to different ways of life or different places and make you curious about what's out there.
Well, one would hope.
Well, that's the goal.
So you are, your operation is overseen by a board of directors?
Yes.
How big is that board? And
there are 14 on our board. And so they are on 3, and then you can do 2 terms, so 6 years cycles. We've got a great board.
Good.
They're really interactive. We call it a working board because they really are interactive and very invested in how we look at and grow and continue to serve without duplicating services or doing that piece, but really look at what are we good at? Where are there gaps in the community, and is it appropriate for us to fill those gaps?
That's terrific. And what about you? What brought you to Muskegon and to the Y?
I grew up in Leadington, and so
not very far away.
Not very far away. We came to Muskegon a lot. Our sports games were up here, and go, prom dress shopping up this way, 'cause a lot bigger stores, all those kind of things. And so I lived in Florida for a long time, and my husband and I had kids, and we're looking to get back to West Michigan. He's from Lansing, and I'm like, West Michigan's the best. You just have to trust me. We just need to live somewhere over here. And so we were just looking for jobs, and I ran day camps for Disney for a long time. I know, really kind of random, but I started as an intern and then ended up as their operations director. But that was really fun. So I had a real love of camping. Had my business degree at that point and was like, I really think I'd like to work in youth development and health from a business perspective and really see how I can make sure that that's a sustainable thing for people. And so I found a position at Pendaluan as their associate executive director and was hired on. My husband and I actually got our job offers the same day. His was with Holland Hospital and mine was with the Muskegon YMCA.
It was meant to be.
It was. It's just one of those things. And so we're very happy to be here and having our kids here. And
I think we're very fortunate to have you here.
Oh, thank you. The Muskegon community is so wonderful, so welcoming and warm.
How long have you been here?
We've been here almost 8 years. So
8 years, because I remember when you came. There was a lot of concern for a long time about the Y and the financial stability. How is that now? We
are debt-free and have been for a number of years, so that's a point of pride.
Yes.
I feel like we've worked really hard to make sure that we're in that place where we're healthy and thriving. And in fact, our budget is actually the same size as it was back when we had a big building.
Really?
Yeah. Which, would surprise you, but I think that shows how much of a reach we have. You're talking, we serve more than 10,000 people a year with a $2 million budget. And that's really good.
Well, that's a tribute to you and your staff, I think.
It is. Our staff is really wonderful. And the way that they're so creative and flexible and looking for ways to continue to serve is inspiring.
I should say. Is there anything else that you would like for our viewers to know about the Y?
I think just come check us out.
Okay.
Right? You can visit our website, stop by and visit us on 3rd Street. Carla always has snacks and water and, treats.
Oh my.
So come by and visit and just see what we do, because we do a lot. And I don't think we're necessarily the best at talking about all the things that we do. And so
Right.
if there's ways that we can continue to serve or spread the word, I guess that's what
that
we're
brings
looking
up
for.
an issue that we've talked a lot about. How do we get the word out about the Y and what you're doing? Without a daily, we have a daily newspaper, but they don't cover Y activities. And
No, not in the same way.
exactly. So what are you doing to inform people about
Sure.
the Y?
Well, we're getting more creative, that's for sure. So we have a person who's now dedicated to that kind of marketing and awareness piece. She does some other pieces as well, but that's really a focus of what she does. And so we're just trying to, frankly, get out more, go to more activities, be at more events. So whether it's chamber events or, the local Pride Fest or where else, Irish Fest or,
Sure.
We're just at these
doing
different
podcasts.
Yeah, doing podcasts. We're trying to be where people are at. So that's one of the things that we're doing. We're actually going to be putting out a community survey soon to look at that. How can we continue to drive awareness? We did some billboards last year, so people, at least it drove some questions. And then, from a personal perspective, I'm trying to get out and meet people. So just to talk to people and connect them that way.
And do you have a newsletter, or is that camp's newsletter?
We have a camp newsletter, and we have a whole
both.
Muskegon Y newsletter too. Our camp friends, they're very specific, so they get their own special newsletter.
I was trying to remember because I think I get both of them.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Well, that's great. So many in the community have been supportive of the Y over the years through trials and tribulations, challenges. And I'm so pleased to hear that you're doing so well. So thank you for being here today and for telling us the story of the Y. And I think that concludes our talk with Gabe Gerlach, CEO of Muskegon YMCA.